Welcome to CF After Dark here, offensively offensive, every Thursday. We got a new face here, Jake Brent, along
What's up,
with
gentlemen?
myself and Nate. Sean is in Florida during all this snow that is potentially about to hit and all the coldness throughout the Midwest. So thanks, Sean. Thanks for leaving us high and dry, man.
Lube Gehrig in the comments. I've been waiting all day for this. We love you. Yes, I have too.
Shout out.
Great name.
But yeah,
Tom, how you feeling?
It'll be good. I'm chilling. It's us three for about 30-ish minutes. I know Jake has to get off. He has buckets from Iowa everywhere around 8. Sean might call in. Who knows?
Yeah, flaked on us in Florida.
And then potentially David talking some women's basketball later.
Ooh,
all things
finally
said,
a win.
Finally, vibes are back. But yeah,
all we needed was Sean to leave, and David's positive.
That's true. 1-0 with Sean off of the pod on Thursdays. I just want to get out and say it before we get into the games. I know Nate has some thoughts about the win against UCF. The hot seat of the week is Sean making me host. I don't like this. I don't like talking like this with no script. Sean, hot seat. You avoided the snow. You're in Florida. You get to be tall, and you're making me be doing this host intro thing. See, I'm using the word thing. You're not even supposed to do that. So, Sean, not cool, man.
Sean's my hot seat as well. When Thom texted me this morning asking if I could hop on, I'm like, oh yeah, I'm totally in. Thom's my boy. I don't think I've ever potted with Nate before. And Sean and we hosted a podcast 5 years ago. We did it week in, week out for like a year. It was awesome. It was fun. And he's not here.
Yeah, Jake, I don't think.
But you guys are here. That's what matters. You guys are here.
Yeah, Jake, I don't think we've ever potted before. This will be pretty fun.
Yeah, I don't think we have. We've probably been close. Like, I still used to hop on the wide right pods quite a bit. Or not quite a bit, but every now and then in the recent years. But yeah, I don't think we have. I don't think Thom and I have potted together either, other than like I had a brief stint on one of the post game shows. But there's like 7 people on that, so it feels different. It feels more like being on Around the Horn.
Yeah, that's a good point. Especially when it gets up to like 4 or 5 people.
Yeah.
But
yeah, we got to get some point. We got to get like a point system then.
Good take. You get a point.
Yep, something like that. But yeah, I mean, you're pretty big time though. You're on CBS, but shit. So we got 87-57 Cyclones in a bounce back game over UCF. I think that historically has been a pretty good spot for the Otz era. If we're just going to get started here, like we've had not a lot of times where we've had back-to-back losses, but when we do, data says that we blow up. I think we win by an average of 17, and that was before we jumped into this. But what did you guys think to get started? I mean, 30-point win for the Cyclones.
Yeah, I mean, that stat is pretty incredible. I don't know like the exact average now after the 30-point win, but the way that Otz teams come out at home after they suffer a bad loss on the road is pretty incredible. And we all should have been rich. We should have all been placing our mortgages on Iowa State to go blow Central Florida out. Because
spread was 13.5.
If they didn't come out and play with their hair on fire and play the way that they did, I would have been really concerned. Like, I was thinking about that on my drive to Hilton. Like, I know they're going to win. I think they're going to win. I think they'll win comfortably. But what if they don't? Like, what if they actually do lose? Like, is it time to go code red? And I think it would have been. And we don't have to worry about that because they did play Cyclone basketball again. They got after it. So the alarm is not set. But it crept in my head a little bit when I was driving up to Hilton.
I think it would have been worse than last year. You know, we had that 3-game skid where Caleb Love, Jerome Tang inside Hilton, and then KU. But, like, Milan was injured, and the Caleb Love shot affected more than just that game. Here, everybody's mostly healthy. Like, Taman's going to Taman. He's going to do his thing, be 60%. So, like, if we would have lost at home, angry crowd, like Otz, and that record and all the stats that point towards a blowout, Like this would have been all time bad vibes here.
Yeah, I'm glad we're not. I'm glad we're not dealing with that now.
Yeah, I mean, back-to-back road losses, it's going to happen. You're happy they happen now versus they're happening, mid to late March, early April. Like that would, well, it's probably not happening back-to-back. Then you're only getting one. But when you win by 30 at home in a game that you're favored to win by 14 and you basically win by double what you're supposed to win by, you're feeling pretty good. And you're getting a triple-double with no turnovers out of your power forward. Love that. I don't really know what else, if we learned anything from this game other than the fact that this team has the will to bounce back from a rough stretch. I think we probably knew that going into the game. I don't think we really needed to learn that other than that we just wanted to see it. I don't know if I have much to add other than that. I'm just every game I get more and more impressed with Milan. I think Bateman is becoming more and more of an impact player, which I think we've been saying all season. He's going to, and Thom, we're going to touch on your tweet because that is evergreen right now. I don't know if you want to start there.
Yeah, are we talking Bateman?
Yeah, let's start Bateman. Let's start Bateman.
So yeah, I want to say it was Kansas, because like seeing that game in person, like he had an extra burst to him. Obviously, he kind of went off in those last 3 minutes, but I really don't count those, garbage time and all that. But I kind of had a feel he's going to make a jump. You're kind of seeing it in action. He was dribbling well, like didn't care about the pressure. He was getting his jump shots off. He was very well on defense. And then we saw it at home, UCF. They got quick guards. They got good guards. They're not great, but they're good. That's an NCAA tournament team right there. And Bateman just took off. I believe he finished with 12 points, and only one of them was like a 3-point shot. So he's not just all chucking threes and they all happen to go in. No, he's doing a lot more. My tweet was, I'm starting to get the vibes. This isn't word for word, but I'm starting to get the vibes that this is a 2014 Monte Morris freshman year jump. He didn't start. It was Matt Thomas, the freshman, that started. And then midway through the season, around conference play earlier in that, Monte got into that starting lineup and he started to cook a little bit. Now he wasn't like scoring 12 every game, but he was doing like 6 points and like 6 assists, and he wasn't turning the ball over. He was being efficient from the field, and he was taking some pressure off of Kane, who was doing so much, with the rebounding, obviously scoring on his own, playing defense and assisting as well. And that's kind of what I see from Bateman, is he's taking pressure off these driving lanes that we all talk about. Like Milan, first 3 plays from the UCF game, all went through him. Now he only shot one of them, but all 3 plays went through him, and that's what we love to see. And Bateman on the floor, that's one extra shooter that opens up driving lanes, that opens up space for Jefferson to cook. He had 0 turnovers against UCF and his triple-double. So, yeah, that was my tweet. I'm proud I got on at the right time. Bateman has jumped up the rankings. I could comfortably say he's probably a top 2 player of mine right now on this team. He is so much fun to watch, especially as a freshman. And I believe TJ said it, whether today or yesterday, that like he's never seen like somebody like work as hard as he did. I might be butchering that quote a little bit. Jake, help me out there.
Yeah, he said repeatedly, like in the summer, he said that they've never had what they call a habits player come in better than Bateman. Whether it's just like working hard on the court, locking in when you need to, of course, locking in the classroom. He was the valedictorian at his high school. And Otz just keeps saying that again. So when it might be a surprise to, like, the casual fan is probably surprised when this guy who, I think he played 4 minutes against Iowa. The casual fan's going to see that and be like, oh, yeah, solid bench piece. He's going to have a couple games. But I think the ones who follow it really closely are seeing, like, that this is a real thing. And he's not going to be a 12-point-a-game guy as a freshman, most likely, unless he takes some sort of crazy jump. But he's clearly at the point right now where you can expect to get 20 minutes out of him. Maybe not every single game, but I think it's fair to expect that you're going to get that probably 3 out of every 4 games. And that, when you consider maybe how the guards between Taman and Torre, especially while Taman's been dinged up, have maybe struggled to score a little bit, and of course Heisey too. If you can count on getting those 20 minutes at a Bateman, you just know he's going to find ways to get baskets, whether his threes are falling or not, because he's kind of overpowering people right now, which is really encouraging, because they really have needed that on the offense.
Yeah, the thing that Bateman gives you to me, and we can talk about his work ethic later because I think he comes from a great background. Because I actually grew up going to the gym that he played high school at back home. So, and the principal of his high school runs an AAU program. So,
wow.
He came up the right way. He's always been about the right things. That gym was always open at 6 a.m. in the morning, so I'm sure he was in there at 6 a.m. in the morning every day. I was really excited when we got him, just knowing that he had that background, because there's been a few kids that have come out of there that have been pretty good on the women's side, but not as much on the men's. So it was good to see that. But he gives you something interesting on this team. Kind of struggles to attack closeout sometimes. And when we attack closeouts, getting something productive off of attacking the closeout. And he gives you an ability of like a mid-level to even finishing around the rim that I don't think the other guards necessarily give you. Not that they won't develop it, but I just think mid-season you're not going to just magically flip a switch. So it's really refreshing to see that we're getting this mid-season. It's a really nice burst. And like you said, 18 minutes on Saturday, I would expect that to probably turn into 23, 24, 25 by the end of the season.
That'd be huge.
Fan 1986 says Bateman, like a lot more muscle on him, pound wise. Interesting comp. I think it's less of how they look and less of how they play too. More of the impact they're bringing at basically the same exact time they got more minutes. Now Bateman isn't starting as of right now. Maybe something will change. I personally don't think it will, but once Monte got more minutes, you just saw the jump, and you saw it with Bateman. And I think that's the comp right there, that you see the team improving too. Both of those teams, the 2014 team and this team, started undefeated, and both had, I think, the best starts in program history. And so there's a lot of parallels going on right now. So I think it's less about how they look and more of the impact that they're bringing. And then also shout out Matthias there for the $1.99 comment of no comment. So appreciate you messing
Came out
that
of his
up.
paycheck.
Yeah.
What a moron. But to more of the
Bears, man.
To more of the Bateman.
No refund.
Yeah, no refund for you, Matthias. To more of the Bateman stuff, it's easy to forget because Torrey has been so good to start the season, and he did go through a little bit of the freshman rut, but I have no doubt that he's going to snap out of it. He looks like he's already doing that. But when they were coming in, and even in summer practices, like Brent Bloom went to practice. He was at a lot of practices, and he said in the summer he'd be surprised if Bateman didn't start because he was playing that well. I don't think he was coming off the bench to start the year necessarily because he was failing to deliver. I think it was more of this Torrey guy is so good, and he can take so much off of Taman defensively that it was worth starting him. So I don't want to draw the comparison too much, but the infamous TCU game where Taman Lipsey was hurt and Keyshawn Gilbert and Curtis Jones, it was kind of now or never for those guys to step up and actually show that they can be productive Big 12 players, and they both did it that day. That was January 20th. Today's January 22nd. So this is the time of year where if you're a guard and you maybe have a slower start to the season, this is where you start to turn it on, especially in TJ's program. I think there's been several examples of that over the years.
If you want another parallel to that story right there, in 2024, that TCU game, big snowstorm hit Iowa. Now, January 22nd, 23rd, there's a lot going on there. I remember that. We were snowed in. I was a senior in college. We watched that game. That was a peak day until later because the Packers lost to the 49ers in the divisional round that day. But Creighton won in triple OT against Seton Hall, and then Curtis Jones.
The 49ers.
Yeah, dude. What are the odds that would happen more than once?
Well, I remember it too because
or 7.
As at least Thom knows, I'm sure Nate knows this too. I was one of the last people on Kurt Jones Island. Like, there was a lot of real estate available because a lot of people sold their stock, and I didn't. And it was only because I know how the staff tracks shots in practice, and they're like, he's a 48% 3-point shooter in practice. I don't know what to tell you guys. So I if he didn't have it that TCU game, I might have sold my stock. But I remember Levi in the Slack saying that he will jump in a snowbank naked if Kurt Jones scores 20 points that game. What did Kurt do? Score 20 points. What did Levi not do? He didn't jump in a snowbank naked.
Yeah. I do remember that. Yeah. The last thing on Bateman is because I entirely agree with you. I think Torrey starts to take the load off of Lipsy, and I think it gives you a different look at your backcourt with how our defense plays. And this team is based on the defense. Let's be real. Is he going to start at the 3 over Milan? No. Are we going to move Jefferson to the 5 over Buchanan? No. So sorry, it's a 2-guard lineup. Like, there's only so, like if you could play 6, great. Like, you're in the starting 6. But
I think the fun thing about this team is there's so many lineups you can go to, and I think it was Jake, you mentioned it, that Otz doesn't want to burn the small ball lineup before we get to March because that's a lot on Jefferson. But there's so many lineups you can do. Plata's only getting better too. I think we've seen that, especially with his passing and his ability to
Plata train.
Yeah. See, I mean, he does. I think he's still averaging a turnover a game, which isn't great, but he has some really good plays on offense where he's very under control for his center. Nevertheless, a freshman from overseas. Too. Yeah, it's the vision. He had one off the dribble that I haven't stopped thinking about. I'll be honest, guys.
Oh yeah, the assist to Jefferson who on the dunk. Yeah, that was pretty.
I know. The bigs, I know Jefferson had a little bit of a turnover problem. Now he still have one. Like, he just had triple-double, 0 turnovers. Buchanan was pretty bad to start the Big 12 play, but he played a great game. The bigs have a lot of potential with passing. I think between Plata, Buchanan, and Jefferson, those are 3 of like the best posts I've seen with the vision and the passing ability together in a long time, all on the same team. Like, that's insane that they're all 3 on the same team. And Plata and Buchanan still have another year. Well, at least for Plata, but Buchanan's only a junior.
Yeah, that's nice to see. That's going to help you in March because you're going to run into the team that has, the traditional Big Ten big, the traditional, like the DJ Burns type, like making him step out a little bit. But the thing you mentioned about all 3 of those guys is they can all put on the floor a little bit. Like, if you can get him to lift a little bit up towards the elbow even, and you can blow by him, get to the rim just a little bit quicker, because I think our bigs, the advantage we're going to have on most is we're going to have a speed and athleticism advantage from our bigs. So that combined with passing is pretty deadly.
You saw Buchanan, he was behind the 3-point line for most of that UCF game. They went more with the 5 out, and it's because I think they feel comfortable with him dribbling once or twice to get to a dribble handoff or to back screen. Because if they're not going to guard Buchanan or Plata on the outside, that's fine. Guess what? He's going to back screen. And I think Sean mentioned that on the post game on Tuesday. It's just like, fine, you don't want to guard him outside. He's going to screen the backside. And then we got a guy cutting from the other side. And now all of a sudden, your defenders just have no idea what's going on.
Yeah, you saw a little bit of that with Chatfield last year, like in the Arizona game. That who's it? Bradley for them, the point guard.
Yeah,
Arizona last
Jaden
year.
Bradley.
Jaden Bradley stole it. I think he dunked on him on the other end. Like, I haven't seen Buchanan make a mistake like that yet this year. And just thinking back, that's pretty impressive. That it's January 22nd. We don't have that.
Yeah, and I think you're seeing too. The Jefferson turnover problem was a Jefferson problem, but it was as much of a team problem as anything. Like, it was him being too aggressive and taking probably too much of the pressure and being like, all right, well, if no one's going to move, if no one's going to cut, if no one's going to get themselves space, then I guess I'm just going to go get ourselves a bucket. And that's when the turnovers were happening. You saw how much spacing. I remember Thom said it like in the moment. Sent me a text that, my gosh, the spacing after Torrey knocked down that corner 3. It totally opened up the offense. And that's where credit to Jefferson, because Otzelberger said after the game that Jefferson took the leadership role and took everyone aside and said, we're moving the ball tonight. And that starts with the guy who has the highest usage rate on the team. It starts with him to move the ball. And I think as long as he's in that mindset, it's unfair to expect a guy that big who handles the ball that much to not turn the ball over at all. Like, a 12 assist, 0 turnover game. It probably won't happen again this year. But if he can be anywhere in that like 6 assists to 2 turnover, 3 turnover, Iowa State's going to be just fine because that means guys are certainly getting their looks.
Yeah, and we just had a comment that the team doesn't look nearly as stagnant anymore. And that's very true because Jake pointed out, Jefferson's he's going to have some turnovers a game. 0 turnovers isn't going to happen every single game. It's very hard for me to get frustrated with Jefferson on turnovers because then I'll either go back the next day or I'll notice it in real time. I'll be like, well, Torrey's just standing there not doing anything. So, like, that's on Torrey because he knows he's not a great three-point shooter, even though he went 2 for 4 on Tuesday. But he's standing there. He's not doing a back cut. He's not moving. He's not helping at all. I'm like, that. It's really hard to get frustrated with Jefferson now when he gets it on the fast break or they pass him the ball and he's going up court and then all of a sudden the dribble gets a little too high. Yeah, that's on him, which I noticed that against UCF a little bit. I don't know if you guys did. A lot less passing to Jefferson to initiate the offense. Instead, they let him get settled a little bit, whether he was posting up or he was just sealing his guy a little bit by the three-point line or just hanging out waiting for the offense to get started. But there was only a couple times instead of the regular 13 to 15 times where like they would pass it to him and he's bringing up the ball, which I enjoyed because I think that's just like a little extra pressure, a little extra hustle that he has to do that he could be using for rebounding or containing his dribble when he's backing somebody down.
There's also nothing he can do if he's on the right wing and no one's moving. He is maybe the best in the sport right now as far as any player making a skip pass because he's so tall. You have such an advantage to make that. And when you have the vision that he does, when there are players moving and cutting on the other side of that, I think he had at least 2, maybe 3 assists Tuesday alone on a skip pass where I know Torrey got one in the corner. Of course, Milan got one in the corner. That's going to be there, but that's on the other guys to find that spot because Jefferson's going to find you when he can see over the defense. That's a pretty unguardable play when you just have to pick your battles and you can't always pick the skip pass. So again, that's like Thom said, that's on Torrey to cut. That's on Milan to find that corner. It's on the other guys too to let Jefferson find them.
You guys are bigger NBA guys than I am. And just real quick, I want you guys' opinion on it. Like Nate, Bucks fan, Jake, Nuggets fan, both your best players are taller or lengthier than everybody else, and they play slow backing somebody down for the fact that if something isn't there, they can just skip pass. And they're great at passing, so it works.
I think there's been a trend in post-development where you're taught to do that. You're taught to back down. You're almost waiting to see the, I would call it like the 45-degree cut. So the defender that's guarding the guy on what would be like the opposite wing or the opposite free throw line extended, you're waiting for him to come at you or just make some sort of error on a step. So whether it's coming at you, whether it's sinking down too far, once he makes some sort of action, you then have the chance to like, hey, I'm either going to go through you, over you, or I'm going to pass it around you. So like, I think Jokic, Giannis, Wembanyama, I think those are and LeBron did it a lot too in Cleveland, but I think Jokic and Giannis do it much better than anybody else right now in the NBA. It's due to their size. It's an instant pass and it's an instant accurate pass. And the thing that creates for you is if you have an accurate pass in your shot pocket and you have a guy that's actually able to make that shot at, let's say, a 40%, 50% clip like we have, that becomes a problem. Then you have most likely a 2-on-1 with probably Milan and hopefully the other guy is Bateman or somebody that can shoot of the caliber of that. Like last year we had Milan and Curtis Jones. We used to kill people with that. We're doing it even better now this year because Milan's been shooting so much better. But that's when you do that at an NBA level, it's a lot easier because everybody shoots that well. So Jake, I don't know if you have anything else to add to that, but that's what I think it is. I think Jefferson was developed properly, and I think he's read his keys really efficiently this year.
Oh yeah, and he's given credit to his AAU coach that even though he was big his whole life, he wasn't big. They trained him as a point guard. And that's the point forward. That's the LeBron effect that you've seen spill into the NBA, where the Ben Simmons before he forgot how to shoot a layup. And that's where those types of players have been molded. And Jefferson does that as good as anyone in college right now. And it is a weapon to have. I mean, you're not seeing Trey Kaufman-Renn do that. Like he's a fine player, but when you have a 5-man on the floor that doesn't shoot, like Buchanan or Plata, I don't know if they've taken anything more than 5 feet away from the rim all year. You almost need a 4-man who can find those other pockets in the defense. And as long as Jefferson's still looking for that and he's not trying to take on double teams at the rim, Iowa State's offense is going to be just fine in the half court, which is really, as long as they're doing what they need to do defensively, all they need in the half court right now is to be just fine to good. You can't be 0.8 points per possession. You just got to be able to tread water on that side of the floor, and Iowa State will be just fine.
Yeah, if we score 70 points a game, I think we should expect to win that game. Like I think that should be what we expect out of the defense. But the other piece to the Jefferson passing and with the team around him, I think there was a stat I saw recently. It's like 92 to 95% of the game you don't have the ball in your hand.
Yeah,
like, that's
the Billy Donovan.
Yeah, that's how you win. Like, what are you going to do to create for others? I think Steph Curry is a great example of this. Like everyone talks about how he changed the game just because of his 3-point abilities. No, it's because he moves with the ball better than anybody else. He's back screening for Klay Thompson or for whoever the new 2 guard is there. And then he ends up getting the shot because they overclosed to the guy he just set the screen for. And then you just left Steph Curry wide open. Like that's truly how you do it. And I think it's been a lot better. And that's why you see a higher assist number out of Jefferson, is because we see a little bit more movement, a little bit more creativity, the play random, as they say.
Yeah. And it's not as easy as just moving either.
You got to set flare screens. You got to sacrifice your offensive potential output even. Like, hey, I'm probably not going to get the shot if I set the screen, but maybe he'll set one for me next possession. Like at the end of the day, it's a team. So
100%.
You speak like how important the spacing is. You just mentioned Curry. I want to get a little bit into a little Milan conversation here.
Perfect segue right now.
Milan, yeah. Suck it, Sean. That's a host ability right there.
Point Thom.
Just point me. And the score is Thom 1, Sean 15,000. Love you, Sean. But Milan,
Yeah,
I feel like there's been a lot of discord on Twitter, on the forums, on Cyclone Fanatic. Jake's been in it a little bit. I noticed a little bit today. Milan, best shooter in school history. What do we think?
Yes, debate over. I'll let you, Nate. I'll let you go, Nate, because I've shared my opinion on socials. So I'll see what you have to say, and I'll kind of bounce off of it.
Yeah. Offline I shared my opinion with you today, but it's hard not to say otherwise, right? Like, I don't remember the last time somebody shot over 55% from 3 in a college season. I think it was Aaron Nesmith at Vanderbilt, and he ended up going 14th to the Celtics as a junior, and ended up being on the NBA Finals, what should have been champion, right? Like, that's what we're looking at here. Yeah, Hornacek was good. I don't think Hornacek had the numbers in college, and it definitely was a different 3-point line then. We're talking the FIBA line. We're not talking the high school line. Like, this is 54%. And he's 6'10". Like, you're talking these guard, it's a lot easier to shoot as a 6'3" guard because there's less arm. It's an easier angle to work with because you're starting from lower. So you got to shoot it higher, which means it's got a better chance of bouncing in the rim. 54% from 6'10" is going to make him $160 million in the next 5 years. He's that good.
We don't have any noise for breaking news or added special guests from Florida, but we do have
Sean.
Hey.
And Sean, we're in the convo right now. Milan, best shooter in Iowa State history.
Yeah, and Jake, I saw your tweet. That was a good way to slash the olds a little bit, so I appreciated that.
Have to do it every now and then. You're not in that category yet, though. You're married and stuff. You're on vacation, but you're still with us.
Pushing 30.
No, Sean, this is a kid's show.
Well, not the show that we did with Levi and Matthias earlier this week was definitely
For people listening audio-wise, Sean just took a drink of an alcoholic beverage.
Oh, no.
Very disrespectful.
I know. It's a CF After Dark has been really pushing it. Yeah, I don't like. Is any Jake? Did you get any pushback from that tweet of people being like, actually?
I got more pushback on the forums because I kind of shared my opinion on the forums before I did on Twitter, and there was some that was just, it's too early to say this. And my argument is, no, it's not. He's at 75 threes right now. As long as he stays healthy, and even if he goes, so right now he's averaging 4 makes a game. If for some reason that dipped to 3 makes a game, he would still shatter the single season 3-point record before the end of the regular season. That's not including probably 2 or 3 games in Kansas City and then hopefully another 6 in March. Like even if you just factor in 6 postseason games, if Milan continues at the trend of 4 a game, he's going to break it by almost 50. I don't know how it's a debate. I'm not hating on Dedrick Willoughby or Naz Long or Jeff Gray or Barry Stevens or Fred Hoiberg. Those are some of the greatest shooters in program history. What I'm saying is Milan is in a category of, if he keeps this up even at a close trend to what he's doing right now, he'll be in the conversation for best shooting season in college basketball history. There's never been, I did the digging today. There's never been a player that shot over 50% from 3 with more than 7 attempts a game in college.
I think you can expand it too. We just had a comment at Jason25. He said shooter, yes. Score, no. I think Milan's even a better scorer than Naz Long now. Are we going old time score? Milan, I mean, it's hard to do, but I will say there's only a couple players in Iowa State history that have like a signature shot, and his 1-foot fadeaway is pretty signature, and he's pretty good at it.
The score conversation, yes, I agree, Will.
Yeah.
That's too early to say because it is only halfway through the season. But if we're just talking pure shooting, pure 3-point shooting, I don't know how it's a debate. But I get nostalgia is the thing. Like Naz Long was my favorite player as a kid. He hit some awesome clutch shots. He was fun to watch, but there's a difference. And Tyrese McGee, that's a legit argument too, because he also did it at such high volume as such a small guy fading away. But it is also difference when the defensive focus right now is on Milan. And Otzelberger said Tuesday. Go ahead, Thom.
Sorry, I was just going to say, you mentioned Tyrese McGee. I would put him above Naz, in my opinion.
Yeah, me too. What Otzelberger said Tuesday was the way that, especially in transition right now, when Milan gets a look, his step through or his sidestep has become so good that you're getting one player flying by, a second player closing out. So you've got a 55% chance of making it. And then you've got a 4-on-3 if the shot misses. Your percentage of scoring points off of that, you could argue, is around 65 to 70%. That's about as good as any shot in the sport other than a free throw
or a dunk,
an uncontested dunk or layup. That's the territory we're in right now.
Well, not a Blake Buchanan free throw, but most
free throws, yes.
We had another commenter, Fancy Rex, here over here. Milan has had 2 80% days from shooting from the field and 4 70%, and then he followed it up with those are on 9 and 10 shots. It's not like he's going 3 for 4, and that's just a great point. And then on top of it, he's going to the free throw line and he's being good there too. Like Cincinnati, we were trashing on the free throw percentage, which we should have. We missed 10, but Milan went 8 for 10. And 8 for 10 on the road in Big 12 play is pretty good. Now, he missed 2 of those when he got fouled on a 3. So that was just one trip to the line. He went 1 of 3. Besides that, he hit every single one. So he's doing it on every single level you can score. He is doing on it.
I think if you look at it from just a career standpoint, career 42.5 3-point shooter, he's on a 54, 88 season right now.
It's absurd.
That's historic, yeah.
if you did that in the NBA, they might give you MVP. Like,
That's like Kevin Durant in the NBA.
yeah,
And obviously it's
That's
KD's
Curry.
doing it.
It's like Curry.
Yeah.
It's,
KD's
the names
doing
we're
it
saying
against
is ridiculous right now.
He's
too.
doing it against Kawhi, and like Milan is not going to go to the NBA and do that. At least we don't think. I mean, he could very well do it in a very
hey, we got
lower
Con
volume
Knipple out here getting buckets. Like, anything's
True.
possible.
And what Milan has done is he's
my
improved
God.
the other parts of his game too, to where he will be able to play in the NBA. He's never going to be a lockdown defender, pretty much regardless of any point in his NBA career, unless he's playing with like 43-year-old LeBron. He'll probably be the worst defender on his team. But that's okay, because if he can just be okay, if he can be George Niang defensively in the NBA, he will be able to carve a role.
Schuster said this at some point in the last 2 weeks. Sam Hauser.
Yeah.
There's your comp.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's his floor. I think his ceiling is a lot better than Ryan Anderson. Like, if you guys remember him as a power forward.
Yeah, Rockets.
He was lethal back on NBA 2K14.
Yeah,
Never missed.
I think Milan will be a lot better. If he went to the Spurs, like as like a rotation guy for the Spurs right now, I think they would win the next 4 championships. Like, he could be your 3, and it doesn't matter what he does defensively in the league.
Yeah, when you got Wemby, like who?
Yeah, like it's
who
just
cares?
you just have a shot deleter. It's not even a blocker; it's a shot deleter.
Did we talk about free throws yet?
Do you want to talk? You want to talk about free throws on your vacation? That sounds like a great way to spend a vacation.
Kinda, yeah. I've had 2 old fashions, working on another beer. This is the perfect time.
Yeah, let it loose.
Did we touch on it? So I do have a question for Jake after I learned that he was going to join. Big J journalist Jake, by the way. I remember when we were doing Recycle and there was no one listening, and now look at you.
Hey, we landed Fran Fraschilla. That was pretty sick.
I know. Shout out Ryan. He's out there somewhere. I saw the quotes from yeah, he's not dead, he's just not here anymore. I saw the quotes from Otz about the confidence deal with free throws, because someone asked him about it last week, like, hey, what do you do to fix free throws? And he's like, well, we want guys to step to the line with more confidence. I think it starts on the defensive end. And then he went into the whole ball pressure leads to turnovers, which leads to easy points, which leads you to be stepping to the line with more confidence at the time, which I think is a super coach speak and abstract answer, instead of just being like, yeah, we need to take 50 more shots in practice a day. But I'm curious if he has touched on that since, because it continues to be a problem, and we will lose a tight one because of it.
Yeah, and that's where I'm still holding out judgment until there is a tight one, because the past odds teams haven't been good at it either. Like they've all been average free throw shooters, but it still felt like they almost always got the right guy to the line. Like Jefferson, I'd have to look up what his percentage is this year. It's probably worse than it should be. I still trust Jefferson, though, if it's the last minute of a game to go to the line. And that's where I think right now you're seeing a very below average free throw shooting team in general. And it's also being weighted down because Buchanan and Plata are going to the line a lot. And Jefferson's had some rough moments. And Torre and Taman certainly have to figure it out, especially Taman. He's a senior. That's got to be you've got to be able to trust Taman to go to the line in crunch time. And I still do. But I won't lie, when there's 9 minutes left and it's a 1-on-1, I kind of just assume whoever goes to the line on the team other than Milan is going to miss it. And that's a problem. They've got to figure that out.
Yeah, in looking at KenPom, 324th in free throw percentage. Like, that's not below average, that's abysmal. Like, we're shooting
bad
67.6%. So
that's got to get better.
Yeah, and the issue is, and we've
Basically
talked to Nate,
2/3.
and right, we've talked to Nate about this too in the past. It's like, what is the fix? And I guess, Nate, your answer was just like, well, after practice, it's up to you as the individual to say, I need to work on this a little bit more.
Yeah, that focus maybe. I sometimes I don't know. Like, they do play such a rigorous style of defense that I think it could be fatigue at sometimes. Like, genuinely, it could just be fatigue, as bad as that sounds. Like, usually the free throw is your chance to take a break in a basketball game. Sometimes it sucks to be the shooter. Like if it's been that kind of game, but that really can't be the excuse. Like they're free. I'll leave it at that.
And they make them in warm up. Like that's where it's a mental thing. And I don't know if it's a pressure, if it, like you said, is a focus where it,
can you just focus on this for like the next 20 seconds? Like
exactly. And like, was it the BYU game last year where Jefferson, he hit a bunch down the stretch when missed I still don't know how that layup, the end one layup didn't go in, but you still felt like, okay, I think Jefferson's probably going to do this. And that's where it's going to come down, especially to Jefferson and Lipsy. I feel like those are the two guys, if you're in a game with Houston in the last minute and someone's going to the line, it's probably going to be them. It's going to be hard to get me onto the free throw line. If teams are looking to foul, there's no way Kelvin Sampson's letting Milan catch the ball. So someone else is going to have to make those free throws. And who wants to do it? I still think it's probably Jefferson.
I trust Jefferson right now because you go back the road game against Texas Tech, that overtime thriller, it was Jefferson making those two free throws late in overtime. And he went 8 of 10 against Cincinnati, just like Milan did. And like I think I trust him the most. I know Sean, Nate, and I, a couple episodes ago, we all agreed Milan's our best free throw shooter. We want him to have the ball. But if you actually analyze like taking the ball out of bounds and making a pass in, like it's way too complicated to just say, hey, get Milan the ball, because the first pass inbounds is going to be a trap. Whoever you're playing is going to be a trap unless there's like 4 seconds left. So then that means, the easiest pass back is the guy who just threw in the inbounds pass. Do you want Milan to be passing the ball inbounds? I don't. I want that to be Taman. I want that to be our best passer. So then it gets to the fact of where
they'll probably have Jefferson pass it in.
Yeah. So then it's like, Jefferson's down there too. So it's a lot more complex than just, get Milan the ball. But I do think there should be an emphasis on that of get our best player the ball, where he's not just our best player like scoring wise, but the form, the release, the shooting, the percentages are there. You have to be able to get him the ball down the stretch and have him make those free throws.
And if there's a Larry Eustace moment from another team in the Elite Eight, say, it's Milan Momcilovic who's going to the line to shoot the technical free throws. But it's a lot easier to get your best player to the line when it's a technical than it is like the scenario Tom's laying out, where it's a full court press, 20 seconds left. You don't want Milan catching the ball in the corner.
Was that Oklahoma State on that full court presses where we beat like 3 in a row? Do you guys remember
Baylor.
that? It was
Baylor?
Yeah,
the Heisey.
Oh yeah,
it
just looked like we were hot knife through butter.
We don't need to make free throws when we do that 3 times in a row. Let's just do that every single time.
And who knows? Maybe back to the discussion before Sean hopped on. If Bateman continues his ascension, we really haven't. There's certainly not enough volume so far to be able to tell what Bateman's going to be from the free throw line. But if he's thought of as the second best shooter on this team alongside Milan, who knows if he's a guy that starts seeing more crunch time minutes if things stay on the track that they are.
I missed that part of the conversation. I'm not there yet with Bateman, but
what are you not there with him with? Like in the aspect of his game? Like what do you not? I'm still not a big fan of his dribbling.
We need a voice of dissent for this take.
Sure. Yeah. No, that's fine. Who comes out?
Torres, like
there you go. So there, I get it. In theory, it's great.
Fair.
It's like the NBA All-Star argument. Okay, you want your guy in. Who do you remove?
Yeah,
that's my biggest thing. There's nothing wrong with him. Just for the record, he's a great player. And I was looking at his stuff as we've been chatting. So he is shooting. Let's see. He's only taken 24 twos, which is hilarious. He's taken 65 threes, even more hilarious. Shoots 40% from 3. He's 12 of 17 from the line. There's nothing wrong with him. I mean, you're not. Who are you yanking? Like, do you trust Bateman over Heisey at this point? Because I don't.
Not with the little things like Heisey boxing out and rebounding.
With
Heisey or just
it can be close. I think it's a discussion, but I think you're wrong.
Yeah,
Two
no,
things.
we weren't
It's-
saying that we think he's going to be the. Whoa, happy birthday, Thom.
Happy birthday.
Got some
We-
balloons popping up.
We weren't saying that Bateman's absolutely going to start like taking crunch time minutes, but
Sure.
we were more talking about his ascension of like right now it seems like he's on track to be a 15 to 18 minute a game guy.
Oh,
If
yeah.
he continues to take this trend, who knows if he can become more of a 22 to 24 minute. And if you're in that range, he might close out a game or two if he's the hot hand.
Agreed. I think he is on an interesting track because I feel like we haven't had a guy like this recently that started as a high profile freshman on the bench and then has earned his way onto the floor as minutes gone. The first person that comes to mind is Monte, but he kind of feels like the exception to the rule since he's literally potentially the best point guard we've ever had.
That was
You have
my
someone,
comparison
Thom?
earlier. No, that was my comparison was Monte.
Yeah. There's not, I mean, unless I'm missing someone, please, someone else tell me, but it just feels
it's
like
pretty much just him.
Yeah.
Like it probably should have been Noyes. We all know that didn't work out. Like that's the track that it like you lay it out and Noyes is he should be your 7th or 8th man and get better throughout the year, and he didn't do any of the little things right to stay on the floor. And that's if there is a silver lining for Bateman, it has been how he's been able to do the little things to stay on the floor. But if you had to gun to my head, it's the round of 32 and it's a 5-point game, I wouldn't think Bateman's going to be on the floor for that.
no, but that's okay
Halliburton.
because
Halliburton's freshman year might be comparable because he didn't start right away.
He feels
Yeah.
almost too good to.
yeah,
But that's a different scenario though, because that was more due to injury, not due to just naturally playing your way into more minutes.
Yeah, that scenario is more like if, knock on wood, someone got hurt, like a Heisey or a
Izzy.
Torre.
Well, I mean, to be fair, Lipsy's been banged up. Like, what if
Yeah.
he's got to sit a game due to just wear and tear? You know,
It'd be
Like,
more of like,
Well, that's gonna
oh,
happen.
it'd be
Yeah,
more
like,
of
I think-
Heisey gets hurt, has to miss 3 games, and Bateman is so good in those 3 games that you can't stop playing him. That to me is more what it felt like with Halliburton and Wigginton, that it was Halliburton was so good filling in that how do you justify taking him out? And hopefully that doesn't happen. You obviously don't want to see injuries, but that feels like more of the comp, and I don't see that happening.
I think what I'm most like, he obviously looks great as a freshman in Big 12 play. Not great, it's a relative term. He looks good, but it's the little things. West Virginia, I want to say it was West Virginia. He had great back cut after he had those 2 threes. He had a great pump fake cut, dime to Heisey. Like he has chemistry with the other guys. He's just not going out there and he's shooting 3 of 5 from deep and then coming out and playing awful defense. No, he's playing good, solid defense. He's doing the good little things. Now, like, is he doing the little things better than Heisey at this point? No, I don't think so. But Heisey's also what, a 5th year senior, 6th year
Sixth.
senior? Yeah.
The grown
So like,
man.
yeah, I'm not expecting him to box out or grab a loose ball or make that extra back cut like just quicker than the normal guy would, like better than Heisey. No, but he's a freshman doing these things at the start of Big 12 play at a pretty good pace. So like, I'm excited about that because it's just not like 3-pointers. It's every little thing. He looks like he's improving on it. So that's what I'm most excited for.
Yeah,
Well, fellas, this has
agreed.
been fun. I gotta head out, but it was good seeing you guys. Sean, good first podcast since the pandemic.
That's right.
We'll
We'll
do
have
it
to
more.
make this a more regular thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. This has been fun. You guys do an awesome job. It's been fun having you guys on board.
We appreciate
Peace
it. Thanks
out.
for having on.
Well, thanks for joining us, Jake.
All right, circle back to free throws real quick, okay? Because I was looking at this while we were chatting. So my biggest problem, my biggest pet peeve right now is that Jefferson's taking 122 free throws. The next closest person is Torre at 47, but Jefferson's shooting 73%. So your primary water carrier right now is barely above what we would probably consider to be average. And we've got guys that are not getting to the rim otherwise. And don't get me started. Obviously, Nelson's free throw rate is off the charts, but he's only shooting 57% from the line, which is, how does that even happen as a guard? You're basically a professional basketball player and you shoot barely above 55%. They're free. They're free.
How many free throws has Nelson shot compared to all of that? Do you have it still, Sean? Because that's, I mean,
I cannot hear Nate.
oh,
He asked, do you have the numbers with Dom Nelson? How many has he shot?
Oh,
If you can
yeah.
hear me.
Yes, I can. That's weird. Dom Nelson is 25 of 44, 56.8% from the line.
that's brutal. Brutal.
Yeah. I think I might start this now. I might keep the stats of like how important free throws are with Jefferson, because like what if he is going like 5 of 8 and like regular minutes, and then once we get to prime time, the under 4 media timeout, he goes 5 for 5. Like I'm gonna try to remember this for Saturday. I think Oklahoma State, I know we haven't talked too much about that game. I think Oklahoma State could be a relatively close game, especially on the road. Might keep track of that stat, see if maybe he's just not taking them off, but missing a free throw here or there, not in crunch time, but then in crunch time he locks in. Just something to monitor. I might do that. I don't know.
You could just do first, second half. Honestly, that's probably enough.
Yeah.
Yeah, that'd probably be good for fatigue too. Like, hey, what does it change first half to second half?
Yeah. Sean, in Florida, guess what? You don't have snow, but you got technical problems with the hearing, man.
It's just Nate. I can hear you fine. I can't hear Nate.
Apparently, the people at home can hear me just fine.
Yeah, I got nothing.
Well, that's fine.
So you can just start.
I'm just
talking.
Dude, half the shit that comes out of my mouth is bullshit anyway. So you're saving your own ears.
Well, we'll test you one more time. We got David. We got David here.
Sure.
Can you hear David at all? Maybe
you got to re-listen to this part, Sean. It's going to be great.
David, can you hear us? Oh no, David can't hear us either.
I can't hear David.
I can't hear David either. David,
not me. It's not a me thing.
Jeez, I wonder what's going on here.
Let's go. Wi-Fi down here in old people country is solid. Nate, it's you. Check your VPN. Not that you'd ever use a work computer. Just the way God it. Just the way God intended.
You scared him off. Way to go. But you got anything with the Oklahoma State game? You know, Saturday. I saw a comment earlier in the game of they wanted to know about travel. David's back.
Hello.
See if we can hear us.
You hear me now?
Boom.
Got it.
All right, we're good.
But travel-wise, Sean, do you think anything happened? Like, did they leave earlier maybe?
Here's my that I don't know, but they should because it's going to be awful. Like, obviously, I'm in DFW, not currently, but like it's going to be bad. And for all of you Northerners, I'm from Des Moines, saying, "Oh, it's just going to be a little bit of snow and ice." Like, the problem is not that there's a little bit of snow and ice. The problem is that we have no infrastructure to deal with it. Like, there are 2 plows in the entire city, and they both work the airports. Like, we nothing gets cleared. The ice stays on the roads. Like, it covers the power lines, and the power lines go down. Like, it's not a oh, the South can't handle it. We're not supposed to be able to handle it. So, great point. I am curious if there's any problems. Like, getting back home from Stillwater is going to be awful. Like, I wonder if they wait until Sunday. The precipitation is supposed to stop on, I think, Saturday night or Sunday morning. So I wonder if they maybe just stay an extra night and come home on Sunday. That would make the most sense.
They play their next game is until Thursday against Colorado. So that helps a little bit.
Yeah, so that doesn't worry me at all. Here's the only thing I'll say about Oklahoma State. It has nothing to do with the game this week. I tweeted from the main account during the game last year when we lost at Gallagher-Iba, and I said at one point that it was a horrific spot for us. And I need to go back and remind myself of what the schedule looked like, because I got a ton of flack for tweeting that, and it was genuinely a horrific spot. So now I'm going to say that and then go back and look and see what happened. Okay, yes. So we were coming off of the Houston loss on a Saturday, and then we went to Gallagher-Iba on a Tuesday. And then we turned around, we go and kill Arizona and BYU. At that time, I was like, hey, we played Houston on Saturday. Like, I don't really care who you are. Like, it's a tough place to be. because that point of the schedule was towards the end of the year. We played Houston on February 22nd, played Oklahoma State on February 25th. And that was after we got through the Arizona stretch, went back on our little win streak, and then had to go back into the beat of our schedule. And I got dragged for it. And I was like, I feel like it's a fair point. Like it's not, we don't have a good record down there. And I don't care that they have 6 fans down there. Like you have to bring your own energy. Like it's not easy.
I think Gallagher is a weird place to play. The angles are kind of like just the way that the slopes are and the way that it's just an odd place. So I can understand why we wouldn't be successful there.
It's a little like extra dark there too, I feel like.
Yeah, it's dark. It's dark, but it's light. It's like because like the upper section that you don't see on TV is really bright, but down on the court it's like kind of dark and shadowy. It's like you're kind of playing in a basement, but you're not. Like a basement bar.
Yeah, how is it there? Like what did you think of it like overall?
It's cool because it's different, but I think it's different in the way that like Assembly Hall looks different on TV. Like, do you know what I mean? Like Indiana, like it's just like, yeah, it's cool, but I don't know if I'd like watching a game there. It's kind of that feeling.
I think when they're good, you're like, yeah, this is a solid place. Like I could see this as underrated, but when they're bad, you're like, there's no thing here that really is like that points out to me like this is a good place. I think like it comes with like the character of the team a little bit.
Did they even fill it up when Cade was there? Because they weren't even that good.
It was COVID, so
true.
It's tough. I mean, they played Texas A&M second, third game of the year, and it was kind of packed, not full by any means, but like it got loud at some points of the game. They beat Texas A&M, who's won like 8 straight. So
I don't believe that we're gonna see their upper deck filled against us.
No, I don't think so either.
It's too bad too. They're a proud basketball program. Obviously, Eddie Sutton, like they had some great teams, especially early 2000s in particular. I don't know what it takes to bring that back because like you have to be excited about something, and Lutz could be the guy. Like they play a great brand of basketball. Like if you're just a casual watcher, it's fun to just watch them. It's a track meet, right? Like it's entertaining, but ultimately got to win something.
He's a Greg McDermott guy from the coaching tree. I kind of hope they're good because Oklahoma State being good at basketball, like that's what I grew up on. So like now it makes some people feel, but like Markel Brown,
Nash.
Yeah, LeBron Nash, Phil Forte.
The sanctions really hurt them. Like I don't know what it's going to take for them to come back from that. I mean, it seems like both major athletic programs there are struggling between football and basketball. So it might be a while.
Yeah. Well, we had David here to talk some women's basketball. I see that his device is no longer connected. I think he's working on his camera at the moment. But yeah, I think we win. I think it's a little bit closer than what was it, like a couple weeks ago at Hilton. They're a good team. Like I said, they beat Texas A&M, who's like one of the hottest teams in the country right now. They won like 8 straight, and they beat them by like 20. Now, the thing to remember is they were up most of the game. They played TCU on Tuesday, up most of it. They were up by 7, 2 minutes left. They blew it, and they lost by 3 or 2. And now they're coming back home. And I think they're on the bubble. I saw it on Fox Sports earlier today. They're last 4-in team. So, like, they need it. They're going to be hungry. We saw what happened the last time we faced a hungry team in Cincinnati. See what we can do.
I mean, yeah, their best win is, I mean, technically per KenPom, it's A&M, who's 36th, but UCF, they won by 11, so that's a quality win. They barely squeaked by Kansas State, like barely last Saturday. Lost to TCU by 3. Kind of seems like they're in the learning how to win phase. You know what I mean?
Because this is year 2 under Lutz, I want to say.
Yeah. KenPom says we're 10-point projected winners. I would tend to agree with something along those lines. Like, I don't think it's an easy game by any means. If we are even a third of the team we were against UCF, then we win easily.
Yeah. I think it's an interesting game, just like UCF. Like, not like fun game, not great game, but it's interesting. Like if we play like 2/3 or even above a little bit, like we're gonna like, hey, we're back on track. Let's go. Like watch the Jefferson turnovers, watch the spacing. Bateman, another game like he's had the past couple times. Is Taman looking healthy? Like there's so many things you can watch with our team, with all the lineups we put out there. Like even the games like this, like I am actually interested to see what happens. In the grand scheme of the game, not that big of a deal. But like if you look at the little points, you're like, oh, this was kind of cool to see.
Is Miller back? He should be, right?
Yeah,
Oklahoma
he
State.
has. Yeah.
Yeah, he played against TCU. I mean, that matters. I mean, that matters. So you never know. We had problems with Fala.
Yeah, he had a really good game against us in Hilton, I thought, whether or not it showed up in the stat sheet or not. But I think it'll be a tougher game than 10, but I do think we win. I wouldn't necessarily think we would. I don't think it'll be a comfortable game by any means. It's a road game.
That's
but this
exactly
is a great,
where I'm at.
like, this is a great way to prove that you're off the road slump. A great game to prove that.
I would say keep an eye on their shot dispersion. So they made 8 threes and Anthony Roy had 5 of them.
Let's close out at the beginning of the game.
Seems to be a
that
that should be a scouting focus, you would think, eh?
You would think.
I think
quote
so.
that. Yep.
But you would. But if Victorious Miller's back, I mean, he's going to take a few more of those. I wouldn't expect. I mean, Roy took 12 threes. Like that's a ton. Like Milan's not taking 12 threes a game.
Roy was chucking towards the end, though. It just kind of felt like he was just.
That's fair. All right, boys. I'm hopping.
See
Dave,
you
do your
later,
thing.
Sean.
All right, sounds good.
See you next
Later,
week.
David,
Sean.
I can hear you. Can you hear us?
I got you guys.
Let's go.
My computer just randomly has like a heart attack with this light. I don't know if it's like 15 USBs plugged in or what, but we're going without the light. I think I'm.
See if we can go 16.
Yeah. Well, I'll address the elephant in the room. It's fucking cold outside already. Okay. Now that's
already.
Yeah, already.
It's been cold, man.
It's dude, it's so bad out there right now. Anyway, back in the win column. Did what we should have done 2 weeks ago in Cincinnati. Not necessarily expecting or needing Jada to go for 44 every game, but that's what Iowa State versus Cincinnati should look like in women's basketball. Like Cincinnati's got a couple people that are up and comers. I know Kylie Torrance, their freshman, scored 20. But this Iowa State Cincinnati should not be a competition, and it was not on Wednesday night. So
how many threes did Jada hit?
She was 6 of 10. So
it's a big improvement from Baylor.
It is. She was 6 of 10 from 3, and Audie was 9 of 15 from the floor. So Cincinnati Cincinnati followed Baylor in kind of doing that double team and that sort of helping off of the corner to try to double Audie. And so I kind of expected them to continue to do that. And I know their coach kind of mentioned that they were doing that and they were going to continue doing that. So good to see Jada perform, especially with Sydney Harris. She played the first 2 minutes of the game and then got taken out, and we played Polk for most of the game. And she was great. That was easily Polk's best game, the transfer from Wofford. She won the SoCon Player of the Year last year and SoCon Defensive Player of the Year last year. And she was every bit of that on Wednesday. So if we can get that every game, I don't expect her to be playing 31 minutes every game, but if we can get that going, especially on the defensive side of the ball, because she was matched up against Maya Perry for a lot of the game, and we did a great job shutting her down. She didn't make a field goal. She just had 2 points from the line. So it's their leading scorer on the year. So if we can continue doing that, I mean, Cincinnati, again, you expect to win this game, and you expect to beat Arizona, who's, I think, 1-7 now in conference play on Saturday. And then you get Texas Tech, and that's going to be your next benchmark game.
I think Sean asked you it last time. Like, it's just so top heavy.
Yeah.
Like TCU, Baylor, and then like Tech is a solid team. And then you get down to Arizona, Cincinnati. Like, what are we doing?
Tech's a good team. They've now lost 2 in a row. They lost to Kansas State, who's not what Kansas State normally is, and that was a home game. Then they lost at BYU last night by 12. So I think some teams are starting to get a hold of Texas Tech, and so that's,
you travel to Lubbock, so you're probably not going to be favored in that one, and it should be a good game. Ariana Jackson being back helps a lot, and you could tell that just from the crowd and from the energy on the floor. But I did think it was interesting because she played in the first Cincinnati game, and I get we kind of, that was the right after you lose to Baylor, who, by the way, number 1 in the Big 12 right now. You lose that heartbreaker to Baylor, and then you go on the road and you're without Addie Brown, and so you got that emotional letdown spot. But she was back in this one against Cincinnati, and she looked great again defensively. That was the big thing when you lost Ariana and Addie Brown both. You're losing 2 of your 3 best defenders, and maybe just your top 2 defenders, depending on the night. So it was good to have her back, and the crowd let her know that they were happy she was back for sure. So I think it's a start. It's certainly not the end. This is not where you want to end up, but it's a start, and you're back in the win column, and you've got some energy going now for you instead of against you.
David, where do you think we got to finish record wise? Like first 2-part question.
Yeah.
How many bids does the Big 12 get in March?
Usually about 7.
7. Okay.
So if you're at 21 or 22, that's kind of your benchmark. Now, it is a little different again with Iowa State because you don't have as many big games this year. You did beat Iowa, who they beat Maryland tonight, so that win just looks a little better. But you still got to take care of business. You can't be losing these games to Cincinnati and to Arizona, God forbid. That's a home game this weekend, so expect that one to be a win. But you got some games coming up here at Utah, at BYU, back-to-back in the start of February. Those are going to be 2 big games. BYU just beat Texas Tech, so that game's a lot more interesting now. And at Utah, that's definitely they're kind of that middle of the road sort of benchmark that we had kind of last year. They got the best of us at Hilton last year, and that was maybe the one game that if you could take back, you'd probably take that one back. That's you've got life now again, and that's the most important thing.
Okay, so assuming an Arizona win, that gets you to 4-5 in conference. That ties you with BYU and wins.
Yeah.
Before you got to go play them in Utah. So I guess, I mean, you're right. It's a start. So you still got to win games if you want to play in March. So
exactly. That's the biggest thing. And you, like I said, you don't have very many opportunities. You got 2 ranked teams left on the schedule. And you also have you have a home game against Oklahoma State. You have a road game against BYU. Those are going to be your next two big games to look at. And then you've got 2 against Kansas State, who they're not what they used to be, but if they can beat Texas Tech and they can get some stuff rolling, I mean, I'm not going to count out that program. So you've got some opportunities, but you got to take them. And it was definitely a start. And it was good to see a start where it was comfortable the whole game. It wasn't coming down to the wire. It wasn't, we need this big run to get back into it. It was, we were down 6-2 and then the game was over. And we just dominated the rest of the way. So it was good to see, like I said, I mean, these are the games that you get Jada Williams for. These are the games that you get Evangelia Polk for from Wofford. I mean, these are the games that you go out and you get those transfers for. And again, Polk was great. Ariana Jackson being back defensively was great. She had a couple threes as well. So there's, like I said, there's life, and that's the most important thing. You just take care of business and let the wins come.
Yeah. I mean, we lost to Cincinnati. We beat them this time. So, a win's a win. You can't just say, hey, Cincinnati, well, we lost to them. You get that. It feels like you got the weight off your shoulders a little bit with the losing streak. I feel like that's a big part of it right there. Yeah. Maybe you got some of the toughness back.
And Thom, I know I texted you immediately against it was the game before Cincinnati. But Oklahoma State. I texted you immediately. Bill had somebody at the scorer's table within 45 seconds of that game. And I think all 10 people that were dressed had played in the first 4 minutes. And I texted you immediately when that happened because I think it was Sean or Nate or somebody pointed it out last week when we talked about it.
Sean.
And I definitely took a note of that against Oklahoma State. And now against Cincinnati, a little bit less. There was still some of it. I know, he took Sydney Harris out in the first couple minutes there, but you had You had 6 people at 26 minutes and 4 people at under 10 minutes. So you actually let them gel. And I really think that's why Polk and Jackson especially were so good defensively. And Kenzie Hare ended up fouling out on some nonsense, but she was good defensively too. They actually got to gel on the floor. And I think that's so important, especially when you're kind of in this slump. Like, let the players figure it out on the floor. Let them, they got to figure it out. You know, I know there's a lot of heat right now on Fennelly, but he can only do so much from the bench. I mean, you still got to perform on the floor. And when you get him a chance to gel and you give Paul 30 minutes and, she's got to figure out the free throw shooting and she's got to figure out her shot a little bit, but you let them gel and you let them figure it out and you get a big win. And I think you take that and you keep using that.
But it's a lot better today because of the vibes of a win.
Yes.
We're getting on that streak where
Yes.
David's on again, but it's not a win.
Correct.
Just bad vibes. But no, it's a win. I think the team will get back on track. Obviously,
and again,
follow
this
them a
is
lot
not.
more, but
you're not right now. You're not back to where you want to be. You're not a TCU. You're not a Baylor. You're not a Texas Tech. You're not an Oklahoma State. But you're back into the right column, and you can start to build off of that now. And I can't remember, somebody in the Discord said oh, this is a get right game, and you're right, because you get a get right game now, and you also get one against Arizona, who I think, like I said, is 1-7 now in the conference, because I think they just lost, or 1-6 now in the conference. So you get that on Saturday too. So hopefully you string a couple wins together before you go to Texas Tech, and then that'll be a big one down in Lubbock.
Well, I think that about covers it everywhere. We had so many people on today.
Yeah, very, very eventful, offensively offensive.
And
but it
good
feels like
vibes
good
to end
vibes.
it.
Yeah,
good vibes to end it for once.
Yeah, surprisingly
Finally.
positive.
Men's basketball's back to it. Women's basketball, maybe start the ball rolling on a little win streak here. I think the schedule kind of lays out for that.
Yep.
But yeah, Iowa State basketball trending upwards. But yeah, I think that does it here for Cyclone Fanatics After Dark. Offensively offensive episode. Covered a lot of good vibes, and that's how we're ending it. No bad vibes this time. We're not ending it with any negative vibes.
Works for me.
Stay warm, everyone.
Yeah.
Yeah, stay warm and go Cyclones.